you go. We are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 15 of Step Into the Paranormal. How you guys doing tonight?
Won't let me share it on Paranormal Inc.
Well, it's already in Paranormal Inc. I already put it there. So, hi, everybody. We have a special guest coming in tonight, and Ernie's about to call him.
That ain't.
Ernie.
See? It won't let me
I'll
share.
call him. Wake up! We're live.
No, I know I am, but this is aggravating.
He's trying
me.
to send it to Ruby. Basically, hopefully you guys had a really great holiday. Hey, Andrew. I see you there. We have got a very, very cool public function coming up. On January 18th, 2018, we have the Samuel Miller Mansion in Columbia, Pennsylvania. Check out Paranormal Inc. for details.
Yeah, the flyers on there, and to get the tickets, the links at the bottom.
Yep, links at the bottom.
You have to buy your tickets online. They're not taking
money at the door.
Yeah, cash at the door.
So you have to pre-buy your ticket before you get there. So, otherwise, how was your holiday?
It was good, man. New Year's was. We stayed home, but it was fun. Just stayed home and watched a good movie and ate. Oh my goodness, did we eat a lot of food? But now that that's over, it's back to the eating regimen and all that good stuff. But it was fun while it lasted. So
nice.
Let me give this young man a call.
2 left fingers. One of them buttons. There you go. Oh. Nope, wrong
Sorry.
person. Jaden's, ignore that call.
There we go. There I see his picture.
There you go.
Hello.
Well, hello there, Mr. Annitto. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
Good. We are live, episode 15, Step Into the Paranormal. We've been waiting a long time for this one.
Oh, yes.
We really glad you can take a little bit of time out of your Sunday and spend it with us. We have a lot of questions we want to ask you.
Oh gosh. But no, it's definitely a joy. Thanks for having me on, and it's good to talk to you guys.
How you been, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a good few days of the new year so far. I can't complain. How about you guys?
Good. How's the New Year treating you?
Hey, not bad. I got everything I want. So.
Hey, what more can you ask for?
Thing. Yeah.
Let's James, if you don't mind, man, I want to start off. I see you've been on tour with Carl Johnson.
Not yet. That starts in 2020, so I think our first thing is actually end of February, of course, for the Rochester Winter Power Fest. It'll be our very first duo Demonologist lecture together. But yeah, we'll be on tour this year. Definitely a lot of events.
That is, yeah. I see. You guys have a lot coming up. For those watching or listening, Carl is the Demonologist that was on the original Ghost Hunters, and he's now teamed up. Him and James have teamed up, and I've read today, James, if you don't mind going into it a little bit. On July 11th, you guys have the, I believe it's an interactive Paracon on the internet.
Yeah, so it's my friend Devin is running the very first online interactive paranormal convention. So you don't have to go pay a lot of money to stay at a hotel or fly. So basically, this interactive convention will have live Q&As. We'll have digital vendors, so people can sell their products digitally through this service as well. And basically, right now she's announced Carl and I, and Dave Schrader from the Holzer Files, is as well a part of it. But basically, yeah, July 11th, 12th, Carl and I will be lecturing from the comforts of our couch. Of course,
Wow.
like you guys be able to watch it. And, if you cannot go to one of the locations that Carl and I will be speaking at in 2020, because of funds or something like that. All you would have to pay is like a little. I don't know how much it's going to be, but that's probably not going to be truly expensive. Pay a little fee and watch our Q&A, our interactive lecture, do demonology from the comfort of your own couch, which is always nice.
Right. But that's cool, man. I was reading. I think it was this morning. My days all run together, man, because I work night work. But I think it was this morning. I was reading about that. Is that a 1-day thing, or is that run for several days, or how's that work?
So ParaCon, I believe it's pronounced, is the 11th and 12th. Like I said, there's been 2 announcements so far for guests, but Dave Schrader, if you watch the Hold the Files, he's a great person as well. But it's a 2-day event, and Devin, I believe, is looking forward to people right now, but I'm pretty sure she has a few big name guests for the people that watch Paranormal Entertainment as well, that she'll be announcing soon. I know a few of the people, but it's not my place to say who they are.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, man, Dave Schrader, man, I've been following his podcast for years now. But finally, he's starting. Well, not starting, but you're seeing more of him on TV. But yeah, man, his I don't know if you ever or listen to that, Dave. Darkness Radio.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every now and then.
That's really. My favorite is when they do, and James, you'll know about this. They do the, I guess it's like paranormal news,
Right.
and it's just such a variety of different things. They fans write their stories and they like reenact them, verbally, and they discuss everything coming up and what they're doing. It's a lot of fun. It helps kill those downtimes at work in the middle of the night when I'm at work. But you guys, James, I see that you guys are sponsoring the SOS Teen Camp this year.
Yeah, so we're doing an event in March at the Lookout House. Carl and I doing a dual demonology lecture and an investigation with anybody 12 and 18 plus. I think tickets are still for sale. I don't know how much Jody is for the SOS Teen Paranormal Camp she's selling. I know our big thing is being more child, teenager oriented,
Right.
For new and first comer investigators, and to learn a few different things that they might have not seen on television, and of course hear something of the darker side, but also get to investigate as well a really cool place that I haven't even been to yet. So that also.
That was going to be my next. I was going to be my next question. Have you been to the Lookout House yet?
I have not, and I'm looking forward to it because I always like checking out new locations. Of course, I don't know anything about it. I'll be frank and honest. I don't like knowing about locations before I go to them.
Right.
I like to go and kind of, I like to know a little bit, and that's enough for me because I don't want to kind of like power suggest myself.
Yeah. Right.
To kind of get what I want, but I go in there kind of neutral, and I'm looking forward to it. Plus I love Sam and Steve.
Yeah, you're. I'll leave you with this about that. You're gonna like that location. I think last March was my first time there. Dave was unavailable that weekend, but Lori Johnson hosted an event there, and I led up one of the investigations that night. And then in September, we were there for World's Largest Ghost Hunt. So you're definitely going to enjoy that. As far as the teen camp, we have them, I believe it's June 27th. Dave and myself and Mike King will be taking them to York, Pennsylvania.
Nice.
But we're only like an hour and 15 from the Lookout House, right?
What is it?
I said we're only an hour and 15 minutes away from the Lookout House.
Hey, you guys are more than welcome to show up that night.
Yeah, we might have to pop in and shake your hand. Yeah, intrude. Take a photo with you. We'll go smooth with the popular kids.
Yeah, rub it up with your elbows.
What else has been happening for you, man?
Thank you, I appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you guys now because, like I said, you guys are more than welcome. So, no, I'm looking forward to it. And plus, anytime you get to show children and give them kind of a course of action of learning and expanding their their ability to understand the unknown.
Yeah,
it's pretty fascinating.
And that's
I get to help them this past summer, and one day it was great. It was a great experience.
that's a really good group of kids too.
Yeah.
We've been on several events with them. Actually, one of if you remember, James, the first time I met you in person, it was, I forget the exact event. I don't remember if you had to be there, Dave. But we met at the Haldeman Mansion. It was like maybe a few weeks prior to us having our first rendezvous with them, because when the first year we sponsored them for that day, we were at the Haldeman.
Yep.
But I think the day we met James was a few weeks ahead of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
At that
I forget
Paracon.
that. Was that what it was, a Paracon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Very cool. What else you been you have going on, man?
Not much. Just, my continued seminary studies. For people that know, I'm a deacon with the Catholic Church. So I'm always, in my seminary studies, learning something new. Working on cases in the background, and of course, I have my girlfriend, my kid, and my job as well. So my business life, is very, 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 very busy.
Right.
So I'm always going.
Exactly.
All right, so for the fans that are listening, we've got a lot of people who are just getting into the paranormal. What got you into being a demonologist?
So that's a multifaceted answer to that question, because what got me to the paranormal initially was God, and to disprove God originally, because I had a rough childhood and went through many different things and questioned how could, of course, a lot of people do, but why God would do this to me. And I really, in that long search of theology and things like Darwinism and many different scientific aspects of life, and researching those things even at a young age, that really led me to what are ghosts, and if I can prove what ghosts are, does heaven and hell exist? Of course, I was a big person of Scooby-Doo, which I introduced my son to the other day, and he loved it.
Right, Maggie?
Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, Unsolved Mysteries, Tales of the Crypt, things like that
Right.
were a big part of my life. And also living in Rhode Island when Ghost Hunters came out, too. I was a lot older, and I was kind of already involved in it a little bit, in the investigation aspect, but more so in a fun hobby way.
Okay.
But that's really what got me into paranormal. As far as the demonology thing, it was always an interesting study because, of course, the same concept, what is God? It comes to a lot of the realms of what is evil and, Satan, and, of course, other religions. So, but demonology really came to the forefront when I came across a case and basically did not know how to help the person. Even though it wasn't a bad case, they still didn't want to live with what they were dealing with, and they were dealing with some things, of course, but they wanted a cleansing. So really, that was the true pivoting point of me going to the ministry aspect of and demonology aspect. Well, with what a lot of people don't realize, I've been doing this for quite a long time, and everybody sees the 2020 tour with Carl. They do a demonology thing, but a lot of people don't realize I was actually the tech manager for Carl Johnson's group Beyond the Veil Paranormal, and I actually was able to work with Carl on the non-demonology realm of things. I was the tech manager. I set up the DVR. I listened to a lot of the audio. So that's really kind of also what kind of led me into demonology too. Carl is one of my first mentors. And so, like I said, it's multi different levels to how I got involved in demonology. But it's been an interesting ride, that's for sure.
Nice.
So would you, to sum it up, would you say that religion led you to paranormal, or did the paranormal guide you toward religion?
Well, religion led me to the paranormal, but within the paranormal, it really strengthened my religious beliefs or my faith in God. So it's weird. You would think that maybe it would push me further away because I would discover more things, but it actually kind of hit a lot of things that maybe I didn't believe in or maybe I wanted to see. I didn't really believe in demons until I came across my first demonic case, and what that demonic case did to me it didn't instill fear into me. Like, it was scary. I won't lie. It was really scary, and it really shook me to my cores. But the big thing it did to me is it submitted to me that the ability of there is true evil, it means there has to be true good that exists, because that's just how life is. There has to be good for there to be evil.
Right. Yep.
Like, there has to be light for there to be darkness. That's just how, regardless of going against science, theology, just how life is. For there to be light, there's darkness. For there to be light, there's dark. Vice versa. So, really experiencing that, dealing with that evil, really kind of strengthened my faith and my connection with God. Or my higher power, with whatever one people want to call their higher power.
Right.
But so religion brought me to the paranormal. Paranormal solidified my religion. It's weird in a way to say that. So,
but see,
but it did.
I definitely, because we speak about this in one of our seminars, but I definitely relate to that because, when I was a kid going to Catholic school, and we had religion class. I believe it was once a week, and we heard all the stories, and I developed this fascination with the afterlife of, before like the whole ghost hunting thing, swept the nation. It was like, I guess it makes sense when I say it, but I was always fascinated with spirits and ghosts from a religious standpoint, everything pertaining back to God. And then, it got to the point where, researching this, all through school, hey, it was time to get out here and try these tricks that I'm hearing about and seeing to validate this. You know what I mean? And I definitely get where you're coming from. How many, if you have, James, if there's 100 cases come in, I mean, I know this is a really broad question, but out of 100 cases, how many of them do you really feel something evil
that they're legit
is involved? Yeah, that's legit.
So I've used this statistic for probably a few years now, so it's funny for some people, but it's probably a larger number. But this is a number I give because this is what I could get close to. If, let's say, I've done 450 cases. I've probably done more than that by now, but let's say in the 400 range. I've done 400 something cases in the past 15 years of doing this that I equate to what I would call a case. Out of that number, I would say anywhere from 5 to 7 cases would be demonic. I would say 5 of those equivocally would be demonic. Like I would put my stamp on it. There have been psychologists involved, and then the other two is something I always look at, questionable. I could not really guarantee what it was, but it was something along the lines of those realms, but I would not be willing to say, it would be demonic. So let's say 5 out of 400 something cases. Right. That just shows you the rarity, but that's also a problem too, because that's my opinion, and I really like to check a lot of boxes off.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier in my times, I might have not, but now especially, I check a lot of boxes off and get a lot of people involved, especially being a part of the church. There are a lot more demands on me being involved than they were before I was not a part of the church. So, but there might be people that experience it and say it's demonic, maybe that's misunderstanding, maybe that's their opinion. So there could be people that have 400 cases and every single one of them to them is demonic, but
Right.
but that's not how I operate. And
Right.
I really think when you experience true evil, it really shakes to the foundation. And with what I've dealt with and experienced with people, one of the things I ask people, and they could not be intuitive, clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, whatever you would like to call it. You enter a property or enter the grounds of that property. You have no abilities. You've never been in paranormal, but that shakes you to the foundation of who you are, makes you tremble. Your fight or flight chemical substance kicks in, where you want to flee. To me, that is something of a reaction to something evil. And of course, there's so many other things that are encompassed with that as well. But that is something I ask, and if that's something that doesn't happen, and regardless if you're not intuitive or not, then it's probably not a demonic entity, because a true demonic entity, regardless of who you are, you cannot believe in God. You could be agnostic, atheist, you could be Hindu, you could be Islamic, you could be whatever you want to be. But if you were in the presence of something like that, it would shake you to your core. I don't care who you are.
Now,
it would affect you.
Now, being who you are and being what you are, the protocol, is it more along the lines that people contact you directly and say, hey, Deacon Annitto, the devil's in my house? Or is it organized paranormal groups contacting you? Or, what is the
proper channel?
Yeah, what's the proper channels until you come in?
So there's many different ways. Individual person that believes that they're dealing with the affliction could call me. A family member or a friend of that person, a paranormal group that's been notified of it or dealt with it. Sometimes it could be something that's integrated from the church. Like, I'm not an exorcist, but when it comes to people that are claiming they're possessed, I'll handle them. I'll research it. I'll try to collect data. I'll work with the people that have worked with those people. I'll get the doctors involved, and I'll compile a case file, and I'll submit it to Father Casey, who just ordained a priest. He was a fellow deacon. Now he was just ordained, but he's the person that I would reach out first before I would reach out to my bishop, and go from there. But so there's many different channels. A lot of times they either come to me, or they are dealing with somebody, and that person reaches out to me. It seems to be a lot of groups more so, but sometimes individuals do just reach out to me because they believe they are dealing with something, and they start researching it, and of course they find me. If you put demonologist in Google, I'm probably one of the people that come up.
Right.
So I of course comes up. I of course come up, or my website comes up, or my Facebook comes up, and they reach out to me that way. So there's many different channels.
Is there a lot of cases that people they bring to you, and you can study them or whatever, and basically render assistance without even showing up? I mean, figuring it out without even
like you did with us.
Yeah, without even going there.
Yeah, all the time. I like to, of course, physically be there to make a proper assessment, a proper opinion about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're, like, I posted something today, you wear what you see. Of course, I'm paraphrasing because it's not truly what I said, but salt looks like sugar. So
Right.
Be wary of what you see. And so in that same concept, if I don't have eyes on it, I'm not physically there, it's hard to determine. But there are things that I look at. I do interviews all the time with people. I do multifaceted interviews. I'll do a phone interview, a physical interview, an online interview. Like, I send a file out, they have to fill out. So I have 3 different ways of looking at their interview. Of course, Ernie and Dave, you guys were police officers, or Ernie, you are still a police officer. So, interview processes and understanding of what
Absolutely.
people's stories changing. So I look at that. I look at keywords. I look at what investigators bring up to me, and I try to decipher that, because if somebody's lying to them or lying to me, it's harder to understand that if their story changes and you can catch them in their lie. If people come to me and saying I'm dealing with a demon, then that's something that's easy to decipher too, because unfortunately, 9 out of 10 times the person that's dealing with that affliction, unless they're told by somebody emphatically, they won't know they're dealing with a demon. A lot of these people haven't dealt with people before, and they come to me and say they're dealing with a demon, and they self-assess themselves. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize that, if you understand demonology and understand the case basis and case studies and what people have dealt with before, the demonic entity won't necessarily come out and say, "Yeah, I'm Beelzebub."
I know. We just talked about that not long ago, and how when you're dealing with the demon, how it doesn't want to or won't identify itself directly.
Like the case that we got where supposedly it was writing its name on the windows.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. It wouldn't want to be identified.
Now I know. I'm sure you've come across this 1,000,001 times. Like, we'll get an email or a phone call and be like, hey, guys from Paranormal Inc., can you squeeze us in and come investigate my house? I think something evil's here. And, we'll reach out to them, and it'll be like, well, what do you got going on? Well, I was in the kitchen doing my dishes, and when I turned around, my cabinet door opened. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get to the evil part. Well, they opened the door. It must be trying to kill me. And, it's a lot of people that, they're very skeptical, maybe never have heard a ghost story or experienced something paranormal legitimately, and they see something like this happen, and their first instinct is, oh my goodness, they're trying to kill me. They opened the drawer or the door, or they moved something in front of me. But we get that quite often, we have to explain to people,
Yeah. Like I like the same thing too, is like physical interpretation as well. Like I physically can't be there. One thing for people that are listening to, and food for thought for people that are investigators or might come across this in the future. If within an interview, I ask what has quote unquote paranormally happened in their opinion, the scratches pop up. Most people, of course, if it's going to be a preternatural scratch or a supernatural scratch or a paranormal scratch, whatever you want to call it, most people are going to react and probably take a photo of it for their records. A lot of people do, especially investigators. If a scratch happened, it's good to take a picture of it, because then you're able to maybe decipher how that scratch happened. Was it paranormal? Was it a tree branch? Was it myself? But a lot of people don't understand a demonic scratch. We always hear about the 3 scratches, the mark of the tree. But a demonic scratch is actually like 3 razor sharp ox knives cutting you, while a human or something similar would actually be scratches with inflammation. Because if you scratch yourself as a human, you're going to leave a scratch mark, but you're going to leave inflammation marks too, because of the rubbing of the skin.
Right.
So if anytime you ever get a scratch that has inflammation on it, and that's more scratches you'll see people take pictures of, it's most likely either yourself or maybe a human entity, because a demon won't leave scratches with inflammation on it. They'll leave 3 razor sharp marks that won't have any inflammation around it. They'll be pretty identifiable of the difference. And you won't see a lot of those scratches because, like I said, demonic cases are very rare, and a lot of people don't come across them unless you're dealing with it, like I do, work with it. So, that's the big difference, too. So if I get pictures of scratches, it's also easier to identify maybe something to the lungs of the natural realm, or not a non-evil realm, because you can decipher by the scratches. And most people don't realize, actually, it's funny to me, when you when you scratch yourself, you actually leave a fork mark. You just even scratch with your 3 fingers. Your pinky finger usually drags unless it's primed up. And a lot of people don't realize in photos there actually is a fourth little scratch as well, and that's usually done by the pinky.
Right. Yeah. Wow.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
That's yeah. I mean,
Didn't think of
that's
it that
something
way.
that's right there in your face, but you don't really think about it because
right?
you're so zeroed in on what you think it is or what you think you already know.
Yep.
Wow.
So what's the scariest moment you've run into?
Scariest moment, I would have to definitely say, it would definitely be my first possession. Because as much as I said, it basically reinforced my faith. Firstly experiencing it, and of course, I grew up on Exorcist, and I grew up on all these other movies that interpret possession, interpret demonic influence, and of course exorcisms, and you think of the pea soup, the head twisting, and you think of all these things, but you don't mindfully understand how as much as it scared you watching it, even though it was just entertainment, when you're in the physical presence of somebody that is being afflicted, that is under the influence of possession, transient possession most of the time, it's very scary because just seeing the person in that affliction. You got to realize when you're looking at that person and they're in that transient state, when that demonic entity has taken control of them in that spurt of time, they don't look at you; they look right through you, and it's an immense feeling. It's like I said, that fight or flight chemical kicks in. Of course, with me, I can't reach, and some people might actually run out of the case once they start doing something like that, and that's shame on them. But your mind's telling you to go, but of course you've got to stay. So
I had absolutely nothing about that when I almost broke Ernie's nose running, but
that was definitely the scariest moment that I've ever experienced in life. Scariest thing, even in a non-paranormal sense. I've of course faced many scary obstacles in my life, but it was definitely the scariest thing in general, not just in the paranormal either, because you experience it. It really throws everything that you understand about reality out the window.
well, see, a lot of people kind of have this. I'm not sure if ghosts exist or not. And if you have any type of faith belief in the Christian religion, there's so many signs in the Bible that says they're spirits. They'll rise from the dead. Jesus rose from the dead. He rose spirits from the dead. So, I mean, back, literally 2,000 years ago, they knew this. So I don't see how people can't believe it today and not understand that there are spirits present on the earth. Now,
what's the lack of seeking of knowledge of people, and I don't want to badmouth people,
right?
But people hear something, they take it for how it is, or they read something and they read in between the lines, because there's many different interpretations of what somebody says, of course. But if you did not read in between the lines and you understood what was being said, then you would be correct. But a lot of people want to be told things, not learn from themselves.
Yeah, I mean, scientifically, I mean, you know my background, James, and I know your background. We've had many offline conversations. If we go to the scientific aspect, the body produces energy. You cannot destroy energy. When the body dies, where does that energy go? It has to do something.
Yeah, your mind's made up of electricity. It's like a computer.
Correct.
People don't realize electrons go through our brain every moment of the day.
Yes.
So
So now, when the body dies, it has to go somewhere. So now, if we go to the philosophical side, again, back to God has said that they're spirits. God has said, even in Revelations, we're going to be waiting here until the judgment day. there's got to be something here. So you're in a waiting room somewhere once you die, maybe. I don't know the grand plan, and hopefully someday I will. But there's so many signs, at least in my opinion, that says there's a spirit here somewhere. Now, as paranormal investigators, our job is to figure out how to communicate with that. And if it's just a normal spirit, hey, let's talk Grandma Jean, Grandma B, whoever it is. Whereas if it's a demon or something evil entity, I'm calling James. I'll be like, bye, Felicia. Ernie's already realized when I hear loud bumps, stay out of the front end of me because I'm fight or flight. I'm a flight.
What, James? When you go into a case, and however much information you have prior, what are some key points that you're looking for?
So a lot of people know that I am a foreman in the HVAC trade. So I look at things like infiltration. I look at things like the boiler, their furnace. So I look at the plumbing as well. Food pipes. See if there's if they're pitched wrong. If they're if there's carbon dioxide is an issue, mold. So I look at a lot of natural things. I look if they're on drugs, medicine, pharmaceutical wise. What could the reaction be if they're taking this medicine with that medicine? Could there be any reactions? If they're physically talking about themselves, then I get them to go see a physician, a psychologist. But I try to look at all the natural first. And a lot of people use the word debunk. It's not that I try to debunk. I try to, because a lot of the times they could be dealing with something, but there's natural occurrences that are either spiking it or are a problem as well.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't realize, and some people take it the wrong way, but I will not force you, of course, but I will recommend that after you, especially if you are dealing with demonic possession, a true emphatic possession, and you have to go get an evaluation before you get an exorcism done. But it is a true recommendation that after that, you go see a therapist, because there are going to be probably PTSD involved within that situation, post-traumatic stress disorder, because of what they went through, how rigorous it was. So I look at all these little natural things a lot of people don't look at, and I try to pinpoint what could be the influences, because they could be influencing the situation. There could be a haunting, definitely there, but what could be the influences to that haunting? And if there is no haunting, how I could kind of derail them from that paranormal train and get them to realize that, unfortunately nothing's here, but there could be these things, and you should go reach out to this specialist. Because I am a psychologist, I am a doctor. I of course have read the DSM-5, and I've had the pleasure to work with people that are either doctors in medicine or doctors in psychology, and so I have a lot of hands-on training with these people. So I try to look at all these things and affect to it. If there's a rodent issue, and I'll tell them to go get somebody to get rid of the rodents. So I look at all these different things. So I try to look at every little detail that could be a factor to what could be to the bigger puzzle. To the full equation.
It sounds like you're living by what's called Occam's razor without knowing it. And basically that says cut everything else away, and what's left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth.
In reality, yeah, because a lot of people, everybody likes to use the word paranormal, say the place is haunted, but if that was the case, then it would be a natural thing. It would be something that we see every day. To me, 99% of the things are natural, and then after that, then that's where the preternatural, supernatural, paranormal standard comes into play. So I really, really do believe that 99% of the times it is natural. And natural as well, I don't, equate that from maybe a thought form, a psychokinetic energy, with that person creating that power of suggestion and creating that thing. And then that's something that you will have to look into as well. And that, to me, is what I come across more so than a demon or even human spirit or a ghost. I really do believe I come across more people creating thought forms and or another word for it, poltergeist. I think I truly come across that more so than anything else.
James, is there many cases that involve some sort of possession, but the person has absolutely no idea? Like you have to spring it on them, like hey, you're possessed. You know what I mean?
It's most possession cases. Most people that are possessed don't realize what's going on with them. And that's why I said as a key word, if the person comes to me saying they're possessed and they have had no help or no direction before, then it's usually probably a big red flag, because most of the time people that are under possession or transit possession or possession or even under oppression don't realize what is truly going on. They lose time. They wake up in certain areas, but for some people, there's rational reasons for that. Or they change their behavior. Maybe they're related to something different, and that's why. For a lot of people that really truly deal with possession, until they are seeking help by an outside source, usually, like I said, a family member or a team member from a group, or a group will reach out to me, then that is when the person might know, but usually most of the time that person doesn't really know that they are possessed unless there's an outside source telling them they are possessed. Because, like I said, the demon is not going to want them to know what they truly are going through. Because why would any master manipulator give up its plan?
Exactly. Exactly.
Before the plan was initiated and completed. And that's what a demon is it's a manipulator. It's a parasitic entity. So they don't want to give up what they are doing. So, usually most of the time that person won't know unless there's an outside influence telling them they are possessed. And that's also the biggest issue too. There's a lot of people telling people out there that they are possessed, that they might be dealing with an attachment, or they might be mentally ill, and they are being told they are possessed, because there's people not understanding what possession is,
right,
how it occurs, and what's the stages of it. Most people don't know.
What's one of the most memorable things that you've witnessed or seen for yourself,
or be involved in?
Yeah.
I would say every time that I deal with somebody and they're able to overcome their affliction, it's not me. Everybody. It's not an ego trip. At one point, I had an ego, and it quickly changed very fast as I got nipped on the butt. But anytime that I get to see somebody smile or have a cry of enjoyment of overcoming the process and overcoming their long tenure of what they had to deal with, is magical to me. And it's one of the reasons I continue doing what I still do, because it's not me, but still seeing those people overcome their situation with me being the guiding light is always helpful for me in my life. I don't have the perfect life. I go through my things like most people do, but it helps me overcome those thoughts when I realize that even though there's evil and there's ugly and there's dark, there's always the beauty of it as well. And that's why I really look at life being very beautiful, because regardless of the dark moments you are in, you can overcome that. So to me, every time I see somebody smile, when I first meet them, they're sad and they're frowning, and they are so dazed and confused of what's going on. And however long the process is, if it's a day, if it's weeks, it's months, it's years, seeing that accumulation and seeing them actually finally smile and overcome those are the best moments of my life.
Wow.
Now, what do you see for the future for you coming up? Do you want to get into like exorcisms, or are you going to become fully ordained? What do you see down the future for you?
I'm slated to be ordained to priesthood 2020 or 2021. Depends on my schooling and how fast I complete my coursework. Seminaries very very, very strenuous. Right now I'm on a break right now, but I'm supposed to be starting up again this week. And, I have my self-studies and my own research. But so my priesthood is supposed to be happening 2020, 2021, depending on, of course, my coursework and how fast I complete it. But yeah, I am, my bishop is an exorcist, and I am actually under him to be trained as an exorcist after my priesthood is completed.
Wow.
Nice.
Because a lot of people realize that when you join the clergy, of course, in this stanza, it's priesthood first, then that stuff. So, the priesthood has to come first before I start learning any of that stuff, because that's the more important thing. The exorcism, which is a sacramental, important within the ministry work that I do. It still comes second course to the priesthood, which is the most important thing, and understanding the sacraments and the sacramentals, and understanding on how to talk to people and stuff like that. So that's most important. But yeah, I will be. I can't give a timetable, but I will one day, of course, if everything goes right, will be an exorcist.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That's amazing,
Nice.
James. It really is. Tell everybody watching or listening how they can find you, follow you, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can reach me, jamesannitto.com, ANNITTO. You can reach me on Facebook, James Annitto. I give my phone number out because I'm crazy, so 401-808-7416. Text me if you call me, and I don't know the number, I will pick up. So text me beforehand saying, this is Bob, and I need help or whatever. Just give me a rundown of why you're contacting me, and then, we'll communicate, and then we'll eventually talk through the phone. But yeah, there's multiple different ways to reach out to me. JamesAnnitto.com. So leads all to all my social media aspects. Anyways, reach out to me, and if it's to talk about your case, or if it's even just to talk about demonology, don't hesitate to ask, because I like to talk about it. So
Right. And anyone that follows Dave and I, or any of our pages or whatever, if you have any questions for James, or need to get in touch with him, or need some advice or opinion or what have you, you can always
Run it by us.
we'll
find it for you.
we'll get you in touch with him.
Yep.
Make it nice and easy. What's the weather like up there, man?
Well, it was somewhat decent earlier. Now it's pretty frigid out. I went out probably about an hour ago, and I quickly ran back inside.
Boy, I seen earlier today Dan Class posted a picture, and
He's watching right now. Say hi to him.
Who is?
Dan Klaus.
Oh, hey Dan, what's up? Dan posted a picture. I believe it was Dan. It's something with snow. Looked like he was driving. I was like, man, they must be getting it up there already. But I always have to ask everybody that, because a lot of folks we talk to is up your way.
Yeah, we'll be seeing you for the Rochester Winterfest.
He lives in the Buffalo area, so that Buffalo area gets smacked by snow.
Right.
I don't know how people up there do it.
Hey,
A lot of shoveling.
I tell you what, down here where we're at, they call for a light dusting to a half an inch, and you would think
The
it's
world shuts down.
it's
Armageddon.
like Armageddon. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. But hey, James, we really appreciate you, man, taking an hour out of your Sunday.
Dan says, it's bad in Buffalo right now. It's really icy.
Wow.
So, Dan, stay safe.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for checking us out, Dan. James, thanks for spending an hour with us on your Sunday, man. We really appreciate it. A lot of people that follow our page was really looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Yeah, definitely.
And
if you happen to be down this way around January 18th, we have a very interesting place we're going to in Columbia, Pennsylvania. It's actually currently, it was a print factory. They just opened it up for tours paranormal stuff, but it used to be part of the Underground Railroad.
Nice.
Upstairs, there's a room that looks like the only way in and out is like this window that it looks like it used to be sealed behind a wall or something.
Yeah, it's an
And
amazing
there's
place.
no way in, no way out other than this little window in the side of the wall. And it's on the third story.
Yeah, it's a really cool place. James, all I can tell you, man, is, being born, raised, and practicing Catholic, keep up the good work, my friend.
Amen, brother.
And please, anytime you want to chat with us, you're always welcome. You're in store. I just, the whole religious side of this, what we all do, is just the most fascinating to me.
Yep.
That's how I became involved in this, and I've been waiting so long to hear what James had to say. So we will see you soon, my friend, and you're always welcome anytime you want to talk with us.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me on tonight. It was always a pleasure to talk to you guys. And anytime you guys want to have me on, I'm more than willing to come on, and I always have great conversations with you guys. And
we might just have to pop in and see you when you're with the teen camp, man.
Yep.
That's only, like I said, an hour away from us.
Please do it. You're more than welcome. It would be great to see you guys if I can't come in January.
All right. We will be in touch, my friend. Take care. And
God bless, and thank you for all you're doing.
Keep doing what you do, my friend.
Thanks, guys. God bless.
See you next time.
Oh, God, I love that man.
Yeah,
he's like
James a good guy. I mean, and take the whole religious aspect out of it and paranormal and whatever.
He's a great guy.
He's just all around a good guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
he and I have gone off to the side, just had personal conversations several times along the way.
Yeah.
And he is just off the chart awesome.
Yeah, he's a real good guy. He for those of you that attend the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash every year, James is there every year, and we'll be there this year. We'll also be at the Rochester Parafest.
Yep.
And for those that we've only said it a million times, January 18th, Paranormal Inc. will be at the Samuel Miller House in Columbia, Pennsylvania.
Yep, and it's up on our Paranormal Inc. site. If you go right here, paranormalinc.net, up in the very top, there's a site. Click on Paranormal Inc. on Facebook. If you hit, become a member, we'll allow you in. Right. If for some reason you can't get in, just send one of us an email. An IM, whatever chat. Our email address is there, help@paranormalinc.net. Our YouTube channel's up there.
Right.
See what we're about.
Now, our radio podcast has reached Spotify and iTunes. As well.
Yeah, we're on Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah,
Go
how
figure.
cool is that?
We're excited about that.
Also, next month, February, on February 7th, we will be doing a seminar at the Glen Burnie VFW in our hometown here. It's 7 to 9 p.m. It is free to the public. And then, of course, after that, we have the Rochester Parafest. And just scheduled the other day, a couple days ago, we will be working with Miss Laura, once again, from York Ghost Tours. March 14th, we will be hosting an event at the Princess House.
And we've been there twice now.
In York, Pennsylvania. Let me tell you something, man. I know that, the paranormal is the paranormal, and, we all do it for the right reasons and the validation.
It's fun.
If you want a good old-fashioned spooky ghost hunt,
yep,
man, come to the Princess House.
We have
been there twice, and that place, the spook factor is
you're
through
creeped
the
out.
roof. Yeah,
we actually, the whole group that was there heard down the hall a door just moving, and I saw it moving. And Andrew Darling, hi Andrew, I know you're watching, saw it move as well, and you could hear it go, ee, and the whole room heard it.
Yeah.
And you heard me go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I said some words.
And the funny thing is, everyone was in the room where we were at. We were sitting kind of idle for about 20 minutes.
Yep.
So, excuse me, it's not like it was any foot traffic, and it was a heavy door too. I mean, it's just
we tried to debunk it.
Yeah, we worked on that for a while and couldn't recreate it. But anyway, if you haven't been to the Princess House, we'll have more information in the near future. You can also go on YorkGhostTours.com and definitely want to go to the Princess House, man.
Yep.
It's just a fun, spooky night. And like I said, we've hosted two events there, and both of them just left us kind of like, wow.
Well,
you know what I mean?
considering we were told by the neighbor that the woman that was in there was actually taken away for pretty much going Fruit Loops, running into the street completely naked, and basically losing her mind. So, yeah.
I ran into the street naked, and I didn't lose my mind.
I'm with him. I done lost my mind. Guys, God bless.
Thanks
we love
for
you.
Joining us tonight. And as soon as things are confirmed, we will announce our next special guest in 2 weeks. For those that haven't gotten their tickets to the Samuel Miller House yet for the 18th, get them.
Get them while they're hot.
We want to see you there. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again to James and Annitto, and for everybody that was watching. Bye.